Hello, this is Manic Street Preachers for Jim Gellatly. We couldn't be all over your country and be Welsh prostitutes.
Hello, I'm Nick.
I'm Richey.
We're the Manic Street Preachers and we're the future of rock and roll. This is for Jim Gellatly.
Eyeliner, spray paint and white jeans.
And welcome back to hour 2 of the Groove Machine on Moray Firth Radio. Time to meet this week's guests from Manic Street Preachers. It's Nicky and Richey. Hi there.
Okay.
Do you have any sort of master plan for the band?
Well, just the fact we want to become the biggest rock and roll band in the world. That's it.
And then split up as quickly as we can.
That's something you've said. Is that really going to happen?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest statement a band like us can make is to become the biggest rock band in the world. And then, you know, when everybody expects so much of you, just split up. Now, I just think people expect so much out of bands. You know, when you're young, you look for kind of like something in a band, and they can never offer you anything. So when we just get to the point where everybody expects so much, we're just going to split up. I think that should make people think quite a bit.
How long is this going to take?
I reckon about a year.
A year?
A year and a half, probably.
Do you think you have to have a commercial sound to be successful?
Yeah, I think rock music is the most commercial sound around, you know. People can talk about dance records in the top 40, but, you know, it's rock albums which sell, you know, millions and millions. It's rock albums which sell across the world, so I think our sound's completely commercial.
To what extent would you sacrifice your own feelings to be more commercial?
Well, I think our sound is completely commercial, so it's not a question that concerns us really.
Extremes always sell anyway, you know. The biggest bands in the world are extreme. They either lead an extreme lifestyle or present extreme lyrics or music.
You've been described as the most hyped band around since the Sex Pistols. Do you agree with that?
I don't think we're hyped at all. But
all our hype is our own mouths, you know. It's just like journalists these days. All bands these days just haven't got anything to say. They're brain dead. So it's just when we come along, it seems like it's hype. It's all our own ideas.
Did you go out in the first place to be controversial?
No, that's why I kind of, you know, so amazed by it. We just say what we think, and everybody's going like,
I hardly think we're controversial.
You know, they just because they can find a band that can string a sentence together. You know, when we went for our first like Enemy interviews, and they're only supposed to be say like half a page, but the journalists got so much to write about, they got to put it up to 2 or 3 pages. So because every other band, you just read an interview, and it's just the journalists writing all the time. They can never quote from the band because they just don't want to say anything.
Do you think because you're written about a lot, you can be manipulated?
Yeah, that's always a danger, but I just think, you know, as long as people can listen to our lyrics and hear our songs, then our point of view will always come across.
People always know what we're going to be like. You can't avoid it the way we look.
If you're a massive band, you know, you're going to be exploited to some extent, and we prepared for that to happen because we just want to be the biggest band in the world, so we just don't care. You know, we will prostitute our art.
The music of Manic Street Preachers, originality specifically, surely you're just going through a tried and tested routine, as people say. James,
music.
How original is it?
We never said that we were groundbreaking band originally, you know, in the first place. I just think it's just a powerful medium for a start. I don't think it has to be original. I don't think it has to be. I think as long as it's one original element to be like whatever you do is okay. And I think our lyrics will certainly be very original. I just think if we try to like mutate our music into something like an original form, we just lose its power really.
Yeah. I think we're completely, you know, an original band at the moment because nobody else wants to do what we want to do, and nobody else is like pissed off or frustrated or just, you know, upset all the time like we are.
Do you think they're scared to do something because they want to make money and they don't want to be outrageous?
They just want like a 20-year career in the music business really.
They really care. They just love the music business. They love being treated like little stars. There's no glory in it.
If you reckon you're going to split up within the year
and a half, once we toured America for a bit.
Do you want to remain in the music industry?
No. I just want to build a concrete bunker and live on my own.
Same with all of us really, that's all we want to do. We were like quite happy before the band, just staying in our bedrooms, just doing nothing, watching TV, just soaking up loads of useless culture. We were really happy doing that.
I want to be Slash's guitar roadie.
So we can easily go back to that, as long as we think we've just done one positive thing in our lives.
You don't seem to have many good words for other bands.
No, I'm just not interested in any other bands. Just doing
I've got nothing against them. We just people seem to think because we're in a band we should have respect for everybody else and
be pals with them, you know. Stupid, that's what music record companies want. They just want everyone to be friends. They don't want any competition. They just want to sign useless bands and sell little amounts of records.
Who do you respect?
At the moment, Public Enemy. We just Guns N' Roses are quite an important band to us just because they proved that like just a traditional rock album can still sell millions and millions of copies. You know, wherever the music papers in this country say, that's what sells records.
What was the last record you bought?
I haven't bought a record for so long.
Yeah, I bought a video.
Yeah,
just a full video I bought. So we're just buying videos more than records at the moment, just because we need the visual aspect.
The image you put across, is it image or is it anti-image?
It's just a total anti-fashion. Just want to destroy designer labels and just show them how worthless things they are. When Happy Mondays wear, you know, Kappa or Fila and stuff like that, it's just pathetic. Paying £100 for a shirt just with a little symbol on is just stupid.
Surely by doing this though, you're creating fashion.
No, we just want to look like a, you know, it's been said about it, it's a pleasing composite of the last 25 years in rock music. And you know, that's what we want to look like. Just to show how useless it all is, really. You know.
No, we are just the biggest cliche in the world. Everything about this is a huge cliche, but we want to be the biggest cliche of all. The end.
Has living in Wales, has it been a help or a hindrance for the inspiration mainly?
It's been a total help, just that it's made us into the pissed off band we are. We don't come from Wales, we're just another decadent, happy band with a career.
Is there a scene at all where you come from?
No, nothing at all.
Fighting and drinking.
Yeah,
that's our scene.
That's all. It's just like it's a living museum piece, you know. Every building there of any worth is like just empty and closed down, and there's nothing to do. Just there's no culture at all apart from like just self-destruction and intercaste conflict. That's where we come from.
Is there hatred at all against the English?
No, really. That's
Not really.
One like
frustration again.
Just Wales is not really interested in its own country anymore.
All that's kind of died off. All people do is just fight themselves. That's all the aggression is just turned on themselves, which I think is in any working class area that seems to be happening everywhere we go.
Like last night in Garrett, there was a big fight down the front, just people clubbing each other, and all I had to do was go outside and do it to Barclays and be such a positive thing. And that's the anger we want to direct, because it doesn't take much, I don't think.
Are you still living in Wales?
Yeah.
Would you consider moving?
Yeah, we hoping to move to London.
We haven't been home, for a while just because we're touring all the time.
Do you enjoy being on the road?
Enjoyed playing. Not much else. It is really nice, like driving to Scotland for the first time. It's really beautiful.
What's the lifestyle like?
Boring.
Is it boring? It's not a traditional rock and roll. Sex, drugs and rock and roll.
It's just, I think every band has got to be the same, unless you like stadium rock. It's boring.
So you want to be stadium rock?
Yeah.
So do you think it's all of what it's cracked up to be?
We just want to do anything so people can hear our songs, really. We just want to sell millions of LPs, and we just got to go about it, this way. Even though it's just killing, just boredom.
What's your attitude towards musical trends, scenes in particular, punk, rap, reggae, whatever like that?
I think it's...
Do you want to be categorised like that?
Well, there's
You've already been called a punk band.
Yeah. There's no other bands around like us, so people got to pick up an old term from the past. We were just in infant school when punk was happening. It's just sad the way you're brought up. You're always taught to just find some justification for anything in the past. People always want to pin a label on it. They feel insecure if they can't. So people look at us and they go, "Oh, they've got to be a punk band. They've got to be a punk band." Even though, like at the moment, all we're playing is Guns N' Roses and Public Enemy. Just sad. I think it's terrible that the Enemy puts up the Clash on the front cover.
What do you think of that resurrection of the Clash at the moment?
I just think it's sick, especially the way Mick Jones is just doing it for all the royalty. He was always an arsehole anyway, but now he's just proved to be the biggest tosser of all time, I think.
Do you think it's good for the music industry, though, something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Getting to the top?
Well, the music business, every record company we meet, they just love it, the fact that they can just dig up on a back catalogue, just like give it a bit of a fashion gloss over the top, and then just keep on selling millions of records, which they've already paid for.
They're re-releasing all their albums, re-releasing singles.
But it also does show the fact that whatever people have said, the post like acid group since 1988, that those records are just not important. The fact the last few number ones have just been all re-releases. You've got Steve Miller, the Joker, and you've got the Clash, and you've got the Righteous Brothers. They're the ones
Madonna's number 2.
They're the ones that get number one. Just dance records just not selling.
you think back to the roots of music, A&R men and record companies in general are being lazy?
I just think they're...
Is there the music around?
They're just all worthless people, and there's no music around anyway. It's just the whole industry is just a total joke.
We've met very few people, from big record companies. They've got any kind of intelligence at all. They just, I think you could take any kid off the street that likes music who could do their job better. They're all just like, they've either been to public school or they just been in the right place at the right time, and they just haven't got a clue. That's why so many bands get signed. They're just really, really crap, and then they just get dropped in a year, and it just keeps on carrying on. Guns N' Roses has been about any big rock band in the last few years.
Would Manic Street Preachers sign to a major?
Yeah, we can within a fortnight, I think. CBS are flying up tomorrow. They've seen us loads of times. They're offering quite a lot of money. Capital flown in from Los Angeles, Chrysalis from New York. So they're all we're just going to pick which one we want, really. Is
America quite important to you?
Yeah, really important. That's what American culture just influences the rest of the world. So that's where we want to, have a really big impact.
Have you done any support slots?
Not really. We played with the big bands.
We just did it. First 20 concert was just any pistol we could lay our hands on. We paid for gigs just to try and get journalists to...
Yeah.
Now that you've got this reputation, would you do a support tour?
Yeah.
We're probably going to do the EMF tour as a support.
Yeah, we've been offered the EMF.
But that's just a demo.
Who would you like to support the most?
I think Public Enemy and us would be the greatest political rock and roll.
Do you think they'd have you?
I think they might.
Yeah. We're just trying to sort out something like that.
To get a really militant black audience on our side, people who are really not scared to try and change things, would be the greatest compliment we could ever get, I think.
I think the worst thing at the moment is the way the audiences are completely split. You just get a Public Enemy audience or say the Guns N' Roses audience, and nobody ever puts them together. And we feel pissed off, and we just want to play with other people who are pissed off. And Public Enemy, the new band round, that seem to have any kind of similar feelings towards,
Heavenly, as an indie label, do you think they give you enough support?
That's just all an indie label can do. They do for us.
Yeah, you kind of, they just really, money is really tight for them, and they just, help us as much as they can. So we've got no complaints with Heavenly. Yeah. Jeff Barrett's been a really just.
We're going to stay in. When we sign to a major, he's going to stay in some capacity anyway.
You meet very few people that understand what you want to do, and he did right from the very start. When he saw us just play a little shitty club in London, straight away he knew what we wanted and what we could be. So we're going to stay involved with Jeff.
Have you made any mistakes?
We've probably made lots, but it doesn't really matter.
Anything major that you think has affected your career?
I just think
getting him on guitar.
No, one of the worst things, I wanted to just, the three big music papers, go on for about 4 hours. We talked about so many things, and the only time they quote us is when we just slag off another band. So
it does seem a bit petty.
Sometimes it just seems really petty, as if we've gone to an interview and just slagged everybody off, which we haven't done. I just wish they could have just broadened.
But the initial impact is always going to be like that anyway. So.
You said that you'd rather be in the sun and the mirror anyway than in the music press.
Only because that's what most people read. The readership of the NME and all of them together. It's not very important. And even as a barometer of youth culture, I don't think it's that important. But the bands that they choose just got no bearing how they do in the charts. Iron Maiden do go in at number 1, and Iron Maiden never in those magazines at all. But they can just pick and choose their little heroes every few months, and they're never going to chart. The enemy is just making itself obsolete every week. Every week it keeps on picking bands, which is just destroying itself.
How would you go about writing about bands and publishing if you got the job as editor of NME?
Well, I wouldn't try and invent some kind of musical genre which I know could not sell. And they built a whole myth around what My Bloody Valentine have achieved. And they're never going to have any kind of broad appeal in this country at all, or anywhere in the world. And they can just invent a stance, but unless you can back it up with sales, I just think it's a really pretentious thing to do.
So we wasn't going to slag off any of the bands.
So no, I just try and write about bands that I know people could listen to.
Yeah. I think Def Leppard's guitarist should have got a front cover when he died. He wrote all the songs with Def Leppard. They sold 38 million albums. Son Ryder has a kid and he's got like a full page, and he sells 60,000 albums in America.
It shows perhaps that they don't care.
Yeah, they just don't understand. I just don't understand that ordinary people need much more to their lives than people looking really dull and ugly.
It's all about creating something and then knocking it down.
Yeah.
So you can find something else to create.
Yeah. That's why we are on our own, I think. I don't think any bands are going to be influenced by us, because everyone's too scared to, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you not think there are a lot of irritated people out there?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think it'll take a while for our influence to get through to those people, because I still think they're scared of us.
What do you think is the biggest impact you could possibly make?
Just get to number one.
Yeah,
Does it mean anything nowadays, though?
I do really think.
I know what you mean, yeah, but with us it would.
If we can sell as many records as Appetite for Destruction, we'd say, like, because our lyrics take a lot from Public Enemy, with those kind of lyrics, and have the lyrics we printed, and then just like go, we've had enough, this is not important, music cannot change your life, and then just spit that. When we are potentially like the biggest rock band in the world, I think people will just think, they could have anything they want. They could have anything they want, and they're not going to take that. And maybe then just music will just be seen for what it is, which is just like a really shallow form of entertainment. Which is just a background noise for your own, miserable life. Which it can't change your life. You can put on a record, it can cheer you up, but you're still living in the same room. You still got the same job. And there's still people who run this country based on hierarchy and wealth, and it's not being questioned at all. So hopefully that's what we want to do.
Are you capable of changing anything?
I'd like to think so. I really like to think so. That, I do think we can become the biggest band in the world, and then it will be up to other people what happens next. We just want to clear everything away and let something positive take its place, because we can't really offer anything positive apart from our own boredom.
New singles coming out soon.
April 15th.
Called
You Love Us.
You Love Us.
Is it better than Motown Jump?
Yeah, so much better.
You've got to say that, though, don't you?
No, we just keep improving all the time, I think.
It's only the second time we've ever been in the proper studio, and James takes over in the studio. He does everything.
James does everything.
It's different than Motown Jump. It's just a bit more rock.
Yeah.
Is he the real talent behind the band, then, James?
Him and Sean musically.
To compete.
Yes, you are. It's like a condition, but it's a division of that in the band.
We used to compete like a musical genius, and we do the words and the clothes.
Just two counts. We haven't got.
My talent's my luck.
That's the most perfect man in the world. It's like the blueprint for my life.
Nicky, Richey, and indeed James, thanks a lot.